It's time for the Salt and Sass Podcast, when we share our love for the wonderful world of board games with you, whether you're a gaming veteran or just starting your tabletop journey. Welcome to episode 88. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mandi.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. As of this recording, I am trying to project into the future because when this drops, so hopefully when you are listening to this, I can say I am celebrating the Seattle Seahawks being the 2026 Super Bowl champs. Fingers crossed. Go Seahawks. Boy. I hope. Or if you're listening to this and the other team won, just know I'm crying and eating a lot of cookies. So there you go. Yeah. Sorry, Mandi. I know you're like American football, whatever.
I mean, I used to play football, American football, so
tough girl. So that's my little random sports things. I just had to get it in. Fingers crossed. Mandi, also at the time of this recording, I am at a local game convention here in the Seattle area that I help, and like I bring games and and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of war games, actually a lot of heavy hex encounter and big map board games, but we have a nice group of folks that come out and play more hobby style board games. I did take advantage of that environment. I finally got Sweetlands to the table.
Yes.
Took me 30 minutes to teach.
Yeah.
And it took us 4 hours to play the first game.
Yeah,
3 of us.
I believe it. Yep.
That said, so I did enjoy it. And the more I played it, the more I enjoyed it. And for sure, like the next play, I don't think it's ever going to be like a fast game, but it wouldn't be 4 hours again. And I was very impressed. So I'm hoping to get at least one more play done this weekend. But thanks for giving me the elbow on that and promoting me to finally play my copy because I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Just so you know, the solo will take you a while. It took me I streamed it and it took me over 3 hours. Maybe it'll be less after stream, but just FYI.
Noted. What have you been up to?
It's just been, you know what? It's been a little quiet on my end. Not too much going on convention-wise or anything like that. But I did play a video game recently. I know, it's been a little light, everybody. I've been busy and focusing on one particular game, but imagine my surprise when a game that I was like, oh, this is on my favorite list on Steam is on Xbox Game Pass. What? You mean I don't have to buy it? That's right. I'm a little cheap on that regard, but I am paying for Game Pass, so I'm going to use it. So Drop Duchy is on there. And Suzanne, you've already played this game. I didn't realize.
15 hours. Yep, baby.
So yeah, I've dropped a few hours in this game, and the tutorial wasn't bad, but I definitely feel like they could have done a few things better because I was misinterpreting things, which we were talking about. So let me rewind a little bit. In the game, it has a couple elements going on. It is one where you're trying to gain resources, but you're also battling, the other side, if you will. So you have a map that you kind of traverse, and it'll be like you can choose to go here, and it could be to get resources. There are a variety of things you can do. You can get get into a fight. Depends. The main board is like I guess you could say it's like Tetris, but with like different terrains. So it's like Tetris pieces, but terrains. So like forest or I don't know, I'm trying to think of stuff, mountains, whatever the case may be. And
rivers, there's water tiles. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah. And some of them will have buildings, right, that do different things. Like a farm will turn certain other tiles that are beside it into grain or wheat or whatever. So, and then this may work with other buildings that might get you defense for when you have to do battle. Anyway, there's a bunch of other things that'll happen and how you get these out. You have so many spots to get certain types of buildings out. That sort of thing. So you really have to manage that. But getting like a line of them, like in Tetris, right? When you get a line, everything shifts down. It doesn't do that in this game, but you may get your resources or money or something to that effect. Or defense or attack for when you have to do combat. And then there's combat that you can do. This confused me, and I was actually helping the other side. I didn't know. The tutorial wasn't super clear on this.
Yeah.
But, you obviously want to try and place their pieces in a way that doesn't benefit them. And then the order, you get to choose the order and how the attacks happen. And that takes some getting used to. You have to click from here to there to the next. That took me a minute. But overall, I really liked it. I like the whole Tetris kind of part that happens. Combat took a minute, but I was into it once I figured out how to do it. I just like the whole, okay, putting these pieces here beside this will generate more attack value. I like that. And I can play it on the old Steam Deck in bed and watch TV while I'm doing it. So I enjoyed Drop Duchy. It's a little frustrating, but it's good. So what about you, Suzanne? I know you've played this one, so.
I agree. Yeah, I really, really do enjoy it. I think the combat does take a little bit of getting
Yeah.
used to because you have to like build your army and connect. And you basically, when you get military units out, you do a flow, like you connect them and then they
Right.
execute in the order you dictate. That takes a little bit of work to get known, but I agree. And I love Tetris so much and I love polyomino games so much. The issue I have with it, not
Uh-huh.
issue, but it
Yeah.
it presents itself like this Tetris style board game,
Right.
right? But it's not because you can freely place tiles. You don't have to like it's easy to like fill in gaps.
Sure.
And you have to be careful about when I play Tetris, I always create a column and like I want to get the 4, I want to get the Tetris every
I
time.
do the same thing.
But in Drop Duchy, there are specific reasons you want because like you collect resources and things like
Yes.
that when a line is complete. And I'm like, it messes with my brain. But no, I very much enjoy the game. A good call, and I'm glad you get to play it.
Oh, and there's an undo button. We like an undo button.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Good. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, it was good.
Unfortunately, I have not been playing a lot of games, and unfortunately, I have a little bit of perhaps a downer for us, but I wanted to bring this up just because I think it's important. Uh, well, on the good side, for those of you who haven't known, W. Eric Martin, from Board Game Geek, he's been the news guy for almost 20 years on Board
Yeah.
Game Geek. He did all the like convention previews, here are the 1,000 games that you can see at Gen Con, all this stuff. He left Board Game Geek recently and
Right,
is
I saw
starting his
that.
own Board Game Beat website that
Love
is
it.
going to be dedicated to the industry news and things like that. I think Eric has a proven track record of being very on top of the industry and taking a good approach to reporting and things like that. So I'm excited about that. I found out through his site and through his social media feeds where he's, sharing his articles that the game designer Jacques Zeimet has passed away.
Oh, no.
And that is, just sad. So that's the downer. And there was no other information posted. But for those of you who might not know the name, Jacques is the designer behind games like Cockroach Poker, Hamster Roll, and Ghost Blitz, which are 3 games that I absolutely love. That, as far as I'm concerned, they are industry classics. Cockroach Poker is one of the most fun bluffing and push your luck games that you can play around a table with a group of friends. Ghost Blitz is one of the coolest dexterity games that you could ever have. Hamster Roll is just bananas. It's the big wheel. 25th Century just recently reprinted it. So happy about that. So I just wanted to bring up that news, if nothing else, to pay homage to designer. I honestly don't know anything about Jacques and his life, but I know his work, and it's brought me a lot of joy over the years and will continue to bring people joy over the coming years. So, hey, if you've got a copy of Ghost Blitz or Cockroach Poker at home, throw it on the table in the next couple weeks and think of Jacques. So, rest in peace. And I just thought I'd share that news that I got through Board Game Geek.
But thanks, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm sharing, because you can't know everything, and so that's what we're here for. We're here to be part of that ecosystem and that community. All right, now it's revenge time.
Oh,
Revenge!
boy.
Vengeance is mine! Revenge! If you listened to last episode, you will know Mandi has introduced the idea of playing some games on the show. Fully support that, no problem. And Mandi's first game was the Game Shelf Gauntlet, in which Mandi presents me a list of 6 games in a category, and there's 3 categories. So, Forever Keep, these are Mandi categories. Situational Keep, we'll work on that one, and Call It. So, a game that you are just it's your favorite, you're always going to keep it. Situational is like, it's a good game, but it depends on your group. Depending on where you are, you may come or go. And Call It is the one that you're going to get rid of. But this is the thing. You got to sort the games as I list them. And you only get to put 2 in each category. So if there are 3 games that you absolutely love, you can't put 3 in Forever Keep. And once you close off a category, once you fill in a category, it's filled.
Oh, boy.
It's cruelty. And I'm going to do it back at you, baby.
Oh, this is gonna be rough. Oh gosh, I'm scared of the topic. That's what will do
Yep.
me in.
So, how could I make this even more miserable for Mandi? The theme of today's Game Shelf Gauntlet is dexterity games. Ooh. I could have done space games, but I went with dexterity. Because Mandi, in general, how do you feel about dexterity games?
I mean, if you've listened to the podcast and haven't just, figured it out by now, dexterity games are not my favorite for many reasons. I have long nails. It never ends well for usually other people because I either probably feel like I'm attacking them with my nails, or pieces go flying. Potentially an eye might get hit. We don't want that. So, yeah, just not usually my jam.
With I mean, that may have influenced my theme
Yeah,
choice.
I'm sure.
All right, so let's get to it.
All right.
First game, forever keep, situational keep, call it Happy Salmon. Happy Salmon, Mandi.
Oh, actually, Happy Salmon is a game that I actually have 2 copies of because I play it often. When I facilitate or teach, I pull it out for like those types of events. People who don't play games that or like, I'm new to gaming, they love it. Okay, well, this one, although I did have a friend who lost a few nails during this session. This for me is actually a forever keep.
There you go. Happy
Right out
Salmon
the
is the
gate.
game where you pull out a card and you're all running around and trying to do match
Flapping
gestures.
her hands.
Yeah, it's real goofy and real fun. All right, Happy Salmon.
Mm,
There you go.
yeah.
Next title. So you've already used one forever keep.
I know, and it feels too early that I've used that, but
Ice Cool.
okay.
Ice Cool, the penguin game with the boxes that form the rooms.
I've actually played this with Rodney Smith, and I'm horrible at it. I thought I'd be much better at it because I'm really good at air hockey and things like that. Now I'm real bad at this game. And I don't own this game. And I think I've played it twice in my life. So for me, this is a cull.
Okay, bye cute penguins.
I know people love it. It's just not for me.
That is fair. That's why we're doing it. There is a content creator named Plumpy Thimble, Daniel, out there, and he is a dexterity game fanatic. And he does trick shots with these penguins that, if you haven't seen it, go on his TikTok and check out his Ice Cool trick shots. It's impressive. And it just makes me feel so inadequate when I play Ice Cool. All right. So we have a forever and a cull already.
Okay.
Next up, I had to include this in the list considering what we talked about a few minutes ago. Ghost Blitz. Classic dexterity game. Flip over a card, be the first to grab the item not shown.
So I've played it. Can I be honest with you? It's not one that's like resonated for me. Like it's not a bad, like none of
We're
these
not
are bad
playing
games.
this for you to lie to me.
No, I know, but I'm actually thinking about it and it's not memorable. Like it's not like I can think of Ice Cool and think of something that's very memorable about it,
Okay.
which now makes me think maybe I should have put it at situational. But Ghost Blitz is one. Oh gosh, you know what? Mistakes were already made. Oh God.
No mistakes. No mistakes.
Like this would be a cull for me,
Okay.
but I'm afraid that there's something else coming.
No, I wouldn't do that to you, Mandi. I wouldn't do that to you like you did to me last game.
Yeah. Oh,
all right.
gosh.
So
Okay,
Ice
so
Cool
I'm
and Ghost
gonna.
Blitz are cull. The remaining games you have to keep in some form or fashion.
I know this isn't gonna go well for me.
You're
but
gonna
keep
like
going.
this next one. You're gonna like this next one. Flip ships.
Oh, okay. I actually have good memories of flip ships because I did a segment on, I don't know if they're still around, Geek and Sundry. I don't think they're around anymore. And we had a really good time with that one. So again, one that I literally almost took someone's eye out with because you're flicking literally these things off the end of the table and trying to get them in this container at the end, ships, literally.
We've played it together. I've been part of that little murder train. Yeah.
Exactly. So for me, this was situational. I had it for a long time. I no longer own it like myself, but based on this list, yes, it would be a situational because we did have some good times with that.
I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Because watching you play it too, like you agonize over it. It's so much harder for you to play. It adds a whole extra level of observational entertainment.
Exactly.
All right. Second to last game, Clask.
Yeah, see, that's another one for me that falls into the whole Ice Cool Ghost Blitz area.
Really?
but I like it better than Ice Cool. So, um, again, I've never owned it, but I have played it quite a few times. Um, this one is probably less of an eye taker outer than the other one, so I think this is a situational for me.
All right. I honestly am surprised by that. I thought you would have.
Really?
Yeah, you strike me because of your air hockey. And like, I would have thought you were a big class girl. So noted. I've learned. Okay.
It's more just I just haven't played it a lot. You know what I mean? So
Fair enough. Well, I think that this game worked out well for you, much better for you than it did for me because I know what the last game is, and I think we'll see what you say.
okay.
All right. Because the last game has to be a forever keep. You
Yep.
can never get rid of this game if you own it. And if you don't own it, Mandi, now you will be forced to purchase it.
Now I have to get it.
Now you have to get it. The last game in our Dexterity Game Shelf Gauntlet is Meeple Circus.
Okay. That I am very glad Meeple Circus is at the top because we played a game with some other people and it was so fun. I still to this day remember some applause and bowing happening every time something happened. And that memory is there for me. So Meeple Circus is fantastic. I actually really enjoyed that game. It was a lot of fun. So
Well, there you go. That
Good
is your
call.
Dexterity Game Shelf Gauntlet.
Woo!
It worked out well. Mandy's Dexterity
crushed
Games,
it.
Forever Keep, Happy Salmon and Meeple Circus, Situational Keep, Flip Ships and Clask, and Getting Rid of It, Ice Cool, and Ghost Splits. You can chime in on our thread or on the comments and let us know how you did on the gauntlet, too. Good job, Mandi. Well, I love fun. We'll see. We've got a couple of ideas for other games,
Yeah.
but let us know what you think of Game Shelf Gauntlet. I enjoy it. I'm a little disappointed it worked out so well for you.
I know,
but
right?
That's the way it goes.
Everything's coming up, Mandi.
Mandi, before we talk about games played, I wanted to jump in with a quick Kickstarter campaign I wanted to highlight.
For
right?
sure.
Logic and Lore 2nd edition is on Kickstarter. This is a 2-player deduction game from Weird Giraffe Games. The campaign ends February 24th. This is designed by the 2 guys from Durdle Games. For disclosure, Durdle Games were the core designers behind the Unmatched Adventures system that
nice.
Restoration. So I could be completely biased. That said, I do think they are great designers, and I think they're I've said this multiple times. Like, I think they're designers to watch. They have this. They did the Fuego trick-taking game. They did the Sherlock Holmes game with indie boards and cards. They've done Logic and Lore. This is a very clever 2-player deduction game where you have a 1 through 9, and you mix up your cards and you lay them down face down in front of you, and then you're showing them to your opponent, and then you have a series of questions you can ask. And basically your goal is to order your cards in the correct order, but you never get to really see them.
Right.
And so you're asking questions, you're moving cards around, you're trying to position cards so you can ask clever questions. It's really smart, it's quick, it's portable, and I've loved it. Well, Logic and Lore 2nd edition is here with a new variants expansion.
Ooh.
And I'm going to be backing for that because it looks
Nice.
cool. It looks like it has like this projection thing. There's a sheet that you get to write on now. I don't know what's going on, to be honest, but I'm in on it. So $29 for the base game, $19 if you already own the base game and just want the new expansion, the variants expansion.
Right.
That's on Kickstarter, Logic and Lore 2nd edition. Definitely recommend you check it out if you like deduction games, if you play a lot of 2-player games. I think this one's real solid. And Kickstarter ends February 24th.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. I haven't really been on there too much, so yeah, let's take a peek.
There you go. All right, Mandi, enough of all that. Let's talk about the games we've been playing.
Well, I'm talking about, I feel it's like an oldie, but it's new. So it's not really new, but they've revamped it. So they've changed the art and the box size, but the gameplay is generally the same. And that is the game Finca. Now, have you played Finca, Suzanne?
I have played a lot of Finca over the years, yes.
Perfect. And I still have the new version, which is the one I'm going to talk about today. And I have the older edition as well.
Yeah, I have the older edition, yeah.
Yeah. And so Finca is designed by Wolfgang Center and Ralph zur Lind. And art is by Vincent Dutré, Joan Gardzier, and Franz Vowinkel. And it's published by Pandasaurus and a few others, but Pandasaurus is the one that provided this copy to me. It's for 2 to 5 players, so it's a nice player count. 45 minutes, pretty short, and $33 Canadian, which I thought was actually pretty inexpensive
Yeah, it seems very nicely affordable. Yeah.
Yeah, because it has a lot of the components. The fruits that are in the game are wood, and
Hmm.
they have all of them in that, and then the thick cardboard. So the board's a little smaller, but generally, I thought the components would have made that a bit more expensive. So Finca, if you hadn't figured it out by now, it has fruits in it. It's a pick up and deliver game, and it's set on the island of Majorca. And this is where you're trying to harvest fruit and fulfill orders. It's a very, I don't want to say simple, but it is. It's like pretty straightforward. And you're going to have that main board, and this is where you're going to have some tiles that have orders that you're going to try to fulfill in the different areas. And then there's another kind of board where you have meeples that you're going to be moving in order to get fruit. And I think it's like a set amount of movement that you can do. And if you land on a spot with other meeples, including yours or others, you end up getting that amount of fruit, which is great because you're trying to complete these objectives before everybody else does. And you have wheelbarrows where you have to, first of all, in order to acquire one, you have to pass like that wheel where you're using your meeples to move around. You have to pass a certain point to get a wheelbarrow. And then you can put your fruit in it. And then once you're like, oh, ready to, to fulfill an objective, they need to be able to fit in that wheelbarrow and you can fulfill that objective. Now, obviously, you want to try and do it before somebody else does. Because then, it's gone. But then another one will be there in its place, and there are a certain stack of them. And once they're gone, like, that'll be the end of that stack. But there are a few others that you can get. And then there are extra points and things you can get for having the most fish or having the most lemons or whatever the case may be at the end of the game. So you're going to count up those rewards and any objectives that you've completed. There's a little addition as well where you have some abilities that you can use. Like you can have 2 wheelbarrows instead of 1, but then it's like a one shot, you use it and then it's gone. So they have a few things like that. That's literally the game. So I'm sure there are a few little nuances that I may have missed, but that's for the most part the game. When I played this again, it was weird. I didn't feel as good about it as when I played it the first time. Now, that could just be because I hadn't played in a while. It's very straightforward. It's very simple. It doesn't mean it's a bad game. And it could be too, the people I was playing with were kind of like, I don't know. You know what I mean? So it really changed how I was feeling about it a little bit. I still like the game because it's snappy, it's rules light, and your decisions still, in my opinion, feel meaningful, right? Like by moving, ooh, I could be giving somebody else extra stuff while I'm leaving myself with 1 or nothing. You know what I mean? So I feel like those decisions are still important. You still have to think about those things, but it's not overwhelming, which is why I think this is a game that's really nice for a lot of different types of people. So, you can play like more of a family level game or just, people who have been experienced in gaming all their life. But I think you just get a different vibe from it with whoever you're playing. But I think it's important. I really appreciate the components. I think that they're really good quality, even in the new version. The new version is smaller, like the box is smaller, the board seems a little smaller. But the components, they still kept the wooden components for the fruits and stuff, which is personally my favorite part. I love that. They're bigger, I feel, but which is weird because the board is smaller, but it is what it is. But they still kept the quality of those. So overall, I think Finca is a really approachable game. I think it's still really good. It still holds up. I just feel like with so many complex games, or maybe the games that I play, it's like you have to take a minute to appreciate it. You know what I mean? And not compare it to things that are more complex. So my last play of it, I was feeling a little underwhelmed, but the more I kind of sat with it, I think I just was comparing it to other games I had been playing, and that's not really fair. I think on its own, it's a very approachable and nice game, and I think it's one that people should at least give a try to see how they feel about it. I don't know, Finca. So I really like it.
I think that's very fair. And, Finca is an older game design,
Sure.
right? And I think with the Pandasaurus, I don't think they updated the gameplay at all.
I don't think so.
Fine,
No.
which is fine. I'm not saying that they needed to. That said, I can understand where you're coming from. It is an older design. Lots of games have iterated or done something similar, but in a different way now that you may prefer. That said, the thing about Finca that I still enjoy is kind of what you were saying. It's the straightforward nature of the game, I think, is its biggest selling point now in
Right.
that sphere. The concept, like how do you teach somebody what a rondelle is, right?
Right,
Well,
exactly.
maybe you're pulling about Finca, because you center around that core unique mechanism or, that's featured and, it's gathering resources, changing them for goals. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of other machinery you're trying to turn it on. It's like, if you ask like, well, what's a deduction game? I might point them to Sleuth, which is a
Uh-huh.
very simple, straightforward deduction game, pure deduction to teach them that concept, as opposed to like an Alchemists, which has deduction as part of like 70,000 other things going on. So I, uh, I think that you gave a very fair assessment of it, Mandi, and I appreciate that.
No, it's good. I felt bad. Like I was like underwhelmed, but then the more I sat with it, I'm like, no, I think I wasn't. I think I was comparing it to other things, and that's not really fair on its own. I think it does still stand up. And you have to take it for what it is, and I think it does it well. So
Right,
I think it's
right moment, right group, or
exactly.
maybe it's somebody's favorite. Yeah. All righty, first up for me is also fruit based. I don't know. Tropicaos. Segues.
Okay.
Tropicaos is an Oink game. Those little small box games from Oink that I love so much. Designed by Goro Sasaki, art by Ri Takahashi. Oink games are usually about $20 to $24 in that range for US dollars. This one plays 2 to 5. And Tropicaos is a light stock game, kind of? I don't know.
Really? Okay.
No, anybody listening to me is probably yelling at me right now. It's not. How did you that? I don't know. Get things, sell things. Get things, sell things. That
Okay.
sounds like a start game. So basically, the game is mostly a bunch of these small rectangular cardboard tiles. There are 3 different fruit. And they have a fruit on them: kiwi, mango, dragon fruit. And on those tiles are numbers, and because there's 3 seasons in this game: spring, summer, and autumn. And basically, and I don't have the game in front of me, so I don't remember, maybe kiwis are meant to be sold in the spring. So
Okay.
if you sell a kiwi in the spring, you're going to get 2 points. If you sell a kiwi in the autumn, you're only going to get 1 point, right? So you want to optimize and make sure you're selling your kiwis in the spring, that kind of thing. So each fruit has a different peak season, and then maybe the dragon fruit gets 3 points if you're selling it in the autumn, but 0 points if you're selling it any other season.
Right.
The other tile in the game is just this little stripy tile, and it is a season mover because you get a little board with a little season peg, and the 3 seasons are illustrated. And every time one of those season tiles comes out, you move the little marker to progress down the season track so you can see when the seasons are going to change and things like that for your timing. On your turn, it's real simple. 3 tiles are going to go out into the market. Everybody gets a cute little wooden rack to hold their tokens in. And on your turn, you are either going to, quote unquote, buy fruit or sell fruit. If you buy fruit, pick a tile from the center of the 3, put it in your rack. That's all you do. There's no money or anything like that. And then take a token out of the bag and refill the market. If, when you refill the market, you have 3 identical fruit tiles in the market, you must exchange one of those with one of the tiles you have in your rack, and you get a -1 point.
Oh.
The other option you can do is you can sell fruit. On a turn, you can look at your tokens and you can say, I'm going to sell. You look at the season, you pick out the tokens, and then you put them in the little slot in front of your rack that has the color, so you know at the end of the game how to score. Another twist is here. You max out at 5 tokens in your rack. When you sell, if you have an odd number of tokens, you must sell them all. If you have an even number of tokens, you may sell half.
Oh, gosh.
So if I have 4 tokens, I could sell 2 or 4 of them.
Right.
Okay, cool. That's basically the whole game. You play, the season track has an end point. There's season tokens in the bag. When the track ends up, game's over. And you're going to score all your tokens, and whoever has the most points wins based on how they score. It's actually really, really simple. It's really small. It's really quick. It plays 2 to 5. It's not the deepest game.
Sure.
And that luck of refilling the market can be a little brutal. What is really fun and interesting is tracking that season marker and trying to push your luck. Oh, I have 3 kiwis. I want to grab one more before I sell in the spring. But, if I pull a season tile, it's going to move from the spring to the summer. And then I, will get fewer points. And then my rack is full. And then I'm running out of choices, things like that. I really actually like that. I think that's super duper fun. The option of selling half or all of them. And so trying to gauge, do you want to have 4 tiles? Or are you going to go for 5? Those are all decisions you get to make during the game that are light but compelling in their own way.
Yeah.
There is a promo tile. So I bought this game at Gen Con, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It came with a promo tiles, like a couple of promo tiles, the durian. And durians are 4 points in the summer and minus 2 points in any other season.
Oh.
I love having the durians in there. That's super duper fun. You can't get them otherwise, though. And I find that kind of a bummer. It's
Oh.
like, because I like the durians. And looking at the BGG page, other people are like, how can I get the durian tiles? I didn't get the durian tiles because
Okay.
they bought somewhere else. I'm like, oh,
Right.
that's a bummer. So I don't know how I feel about that. I wish those were easier for people to get. But I've played Tropicaos a few times. I think it lands in it is a game I really like. It's great if you're tired, you just want a quick game. It's the end of the night, you're chatting. You don't want to have to think a lot, but you don't want to just be mindlessly like it fits a sweet spot, especially for how portable and affordable it is. It has that nice
Sure.
2 to 5 player
Mhm.
range. I actually like Tropicaos a lot. I think if you're in that zone, take a look at it. I'm glad I have it. I mean, I keep all my Oink games, but even if I didn't, this was probably one I would keep on hand because I think it's a
Okay.
lovely little filler. And it's cute as heck, of course, because it's Oink. So that's Tropicaos.
I like the theme of it.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
who doesn't?
totally
Yeah.
harmless, charming, adorable. It's Oink. It's gorgeous. This one is solid. It's not their deepest game, but
Sure.
it's not their lightest game either, and I really like it.
My gosh, now I could go for a durian shake, not gonna lie. So
Never had
good.
it. Never had it. I'm tempted.
It's so good.
That's like, I know people on both sides of it. I know people that are like you, and I know people that are like, it's disgusting. So
Oh, well,
I have to
trust me,
try it to find out.
it's good.
Okay. A durian shake is probably a good way to like venture into it.
Ease into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so another one to add to my list. The last game that I'm going to be talking about is Look at the Stars. Now, have you played this one?
I
Suzanne?
have. I have.
You have? See,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. And this is not a new game. I think it's 2023 or something.
Nope.
So
And
it's
I'm
not.
going to go on a rant when you're done with this one, but go ahead.
I have some words about it as
Yeah.
well. So Look at the Stars is designed by Romain Caterdijan, and art is by Adrien Lacoz, and published by Pandasaurus Games. It plays 2 to 8 players. We'll talk about that. And it's in 20 to 30 minutes is about the time for gameplay. Oh, I realized I didn't enter a price for this one here. But Suzanne will be very kind and look that up for me as I talk about it. So I'll keep going and then we'll come back to the price. So in Look at the Stars, it's one of these games where you're going to be drawing. So you have each
30
player has.
US dollars.
That's okay. Just give me the US dollars.
30 US dollars.
Oh, 30 US dollars. Okay. So really? Dang. Sorry. Wasn't expecting it to be that much. So 30 US dollars for this game. I'm sorry. So in this game, it's something we're going to be drawing. Players each will have a board, and it's weird because it's like cardboard with gloss. I don't know how to explain it. And the markers you use, because they're black background for the most part with some white parts, and the marker you use, it almost reminds me of liquid chalk, and it literally behaves that way. We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so the boards are black, the markers are white. Great for contrast. I see where we're going. That's cool. Goal of the game is you're trying to make different kinds of star shapes depending on the cards that get flipped. So during the game, someone will flip a card, and you have 3 stacks of cards that you're going to go through, but I think there's only like 6 to 8 cards in each one. And you're going to say, oh, great, this one's showing a line that's going, up and down, and then a slanted line. And you can turn it around and however you want to do it, but you have to do it like that on your board. So you just can't mirror it. So you can rotate it, you just can't mirror it, and you have to put that somewhere on your board. And your goal is to try to connect different ones together so you can get points. Like if you have 3 lines in one of your star shapes, that's going to give you points. If you have 4 lines, 6 lines, and so forth. So you want to try to have varying sizes of them on your board. As the game progresses, though, you're going to have less and less room to work with, and you can't draw over lines. You can cross over lines, but you can't draw over lines. And what happened in my game, I just started to run out of room. And then you also have objective cards where if you make this specific shape, you end up having to draw something like I was going to say like a whirlpool. That's not what I meant. But you have to draw a shape that accompanies it, but you need to have room beside this shape to do it. Again, it's just going to be one of those games where you're going to run out of room and you're not able to do all of that, which I wasn't able to do. I scored very poorly in our games. The game will end once you get through, I believe it's like that last stack of cards, and then you'll count your points from there based on how many constellations you had that were 3 lines, 4 lines, 5 lines, 6 lines, and so forth. And then meeting those objective cards as well, because they were worth big points, like 9 points or something like that. So that was something else. You also have shooting stars, and depending on how long you were able to make those, 'cause I think they're up to 4 points, you get points on those, but you don't have to draw them that full length. You can draw them a little shorter, just worth fewer points. So things like that. Okay, so I liked where this game was going, but then I had some concerns. One being the markers. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Mandi.
bad. It's so
I
bad.
hate
Like
them so
they were no, it
much.
was really bad. Like they give you a little, I don't even know how to describe the size of this thing, but like it's like a little white kind of cloth. It's maybe the length of my index finger and the width of 2 fingers. Yep, that's probably a good way to describe the size. And that's what you're supposed to use to wipe this stuff off. So I was like, oh, shoot. Oh, shucks darn. I made a mistake. Let me tell you, I wasn't saying shucks darn after when I was trying to rub it off because I was getting so frustrated. Like it was not coming off. So you had to go get a paper towel. We had to wet it and then that just smears it all over the place. So then you have to take a dry one to polish it off and then it came off, but not without a lot of elbow grease. So, oh my gosh, I see where they were going and I'm like, yeah, it's a cool effect, but terrible. So that to me was not great. I wasn't a fan of that. Then the player count, I don't know, because we played with 5 people and I found it long because we did have a few people that took a bit longer on their turns. Because it's simultaneous play, but there were people that took a long time, so we can't really go to the next card until they finish doing what they need to do.
Right.
And then people like myself, I ended up telling everybody, just take a picture of the card. Because everybody wants to take the card so they can move it, and I get that, so they can figure it out. And I'm like, but if you do that and somebody else is waiting for it, like, just take a picture and we'll do it that way. That was a big issue. So then it just kind of dragged a little bit. So that was another point of contention that came up. And then trying to make those objective cards was ridiculously hard. I don't know if you had a easy time with that, but maybe it was just the couple of the shapes we picked off the top. They were extremely challenging. And I play with, we're all fairly smart people. And, I mean, I can't say that I always do well at games, but even the people who are generally, the people that come out on top, they were struggling. So again, that's not necessarily the game's fault. It just happened that way. But I almost feel like for a first game, you might want to seed that a little differently. So at least you can give yourself a little bit of success and then you can try it again with more challenging cards. And that might be on us in that regard. But overall, the game itself, I liked where it was going. I was like, yeah, this is cool, drawing the shapes, and you're limited to how much space you have. So it really causes you to think about how you want to place things going forward, and your board shrinks as you progress. So I'm not mad at that. I thought that was really cool, but it really ruined it for me with those markers. I was scared to make a mistake. And then the length of the game, because, people wanted to see the card, and that just made it long. I couldn't imagine playing it with 8, and that was just 5 players. So those are some things maybe logistically I don't know if they thought about. So look at the stars. I see where it was going, but I think there are too many challenges for me to play this game often.
Fair enough. Yeah, as soon as you said the markers, I was like, yep, it's
so bad.
Very, very bad. And a shame because I actually think I like the game a little bit more than you do, it sounds like. I didn't necessarily hit maybe some of the challenges that you were in terms of doing the objectives or anything like that. I actually really like a lot about the gameplay, but
No, it is. It's good.
When the physical execution is such a hindrance, there are other games.
That's
right?
it.
There are other games you can play that don't have that hindrance, and quite frankly, this is a reason why I don't play the Twilight Imperium. Roll and write as much because they do the same thing. Blackboards, orange neon chalk markers that are a nightmare. And it is such an annoyance to me that it makes it less desirable to play the game. So even though I think the game itself is really fun.
But don't write it off. The gameplay itself, but maybe they'll revamp.
What's interesting is that it's on BGA.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And you can play it on BGA, and it's I mean, that's what you want to play, but they don't make any money off of BGA. I don't know. It's complicated.
Fair
anyway.
enough. Okay,
Anyway,
got you.
all right.
Well, there you go. Look at the stars.
To wrap up, okay, Leviathan Wilds. I've been wanting to talk about this one for a while.
Oh.
Leviathan Wilds. And so Leviathan Wilds designed by Justin Kempinen. And we have illustrations by Samuel R. Shimoda, published by Mooncrab Games, which is Kempinen's publishing arm. Justin Kempinen is the designer behind like Star Wars Rebellion, one of the
Okay.
Star Wars games. He used to work with like Fantasy Flight and Z-Man games.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it cost $59 in the Kickstarter. So I need to do some disclosure here. Justin Kempinen is a game designer that I work with in a professional capacity in my day job. So feel free to skip this review. That is a personal relationship I have with a designer. So I wanted to make sure that that's very disclosed, and you should... I'm not going to change how I feel the game, but I wanted to be upfront about that. All right. Leviathan Wilds is a cooperative game in which you are these little creatures trying to help leviathans, these giant creatures, and they have these nasty crystal growths on them, like evil barnacles that are growing on them. And so you are working together to try to get these crystals off of the leviathans and save them. Kind of a fun theme, actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the way this is done is that you get a spiral-bound book, and you open it, and then that is your game board. And the Leviathan takes up, like, the full spread of that open book. And there's a dozen different Leviathans that all play out very, very differently. It's pretty cool. And totally lost my train of thought. There's like 12 different Leviathans, and they all play out differently, which is really, really cool. Meanwhile, you've got a bunch of climbers and a bunch of classes. So then players are going to pick a climber and a class, shuffle those little decks together, and then that's your play deck. Because this is a game that has like action points and multi-use cards. Huzzah! And a lot of hand management. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's cooperative, so you're working together. And on this Leviathan, there's like paths and like spaces all marked on them and things like that. So what you're going to be doing is that when you have your hand of cards, you're going to pick a card and slot it at the top of your little player board, and that's the number. The number at the top of the card is going to be how many action points you have to use during that game. Like 3, usually it's like 2 to 5-ish in there. And then different actions take a certain number of action points. Maybe you are going to just climb, so it takes 1 action point to climb a space. So you could do that 5 times maybe. Or if you want to jump diagonally, that takes 3 action points, that kind of thing. So you take actions until you run out of action points typically. Meanwhile, you have other cards in your hand, and they will also have... So all the cards have an action point, but then they also have abilities on them. So you can play a card for its action points, or you can play a card for its abilities. But if you play it for the action points, you can't use the ability. You got to keep that in mind.
Oh.
Meanwhile, your deck is called like your grip, because you're climbing, right? You're climbing. And so you got to have grip. Well, if you run out of your deck, you lose your grip. And you fall because you're climbing a Leviathan. So thematically, if you're not on a safety ledge, because they're marked on the board sometimes, and you run out of grip, you're going to fall. And that could be bad. So, you don't take fall damage, but it's interesting how that works. Meanwhile, you have 2 tracks. You have a health and a blight track, and you're going to be losing health. You could be gaining blight, which is bad. And when those overlap, you've triggered the end game. And basically everybody else has 1 more turn to try to win the game. Otherwise, you lose the game. You win the game by collectively getting rid of all the crystals that are on the Leviathan before you lose. That kind of thing. So you're going to be moving around the board, using your action points, jumping around, attacking these crystals. There are little mushrooms along the way that you can pick up that give you little one-time hits. And you're working together. You are coordinating. I'm going to go to this crystal. Can you go to this crystal? I need a +1. Because you have those cards, those abilities, they also can let you help other players. If you have a card in your hand that can help another player, you can play it to help them as well. So there really is a lot of cooperation and a lot of coordination as you're going. I talked about the falling. One of the interesting things is that typically falling sounds bad. One of the more compelling elements of the game is that you can fall strategically. Sometimes it's not bad. Sometimes if you get up here and you want to get somewhere else, sometimes falling's the fastest way you can do that. You don't take fall damage, but there's other kinds of damage you can take anyway. But so I think that's a really compelling thing, because in terms of hand management and timing, maybe you want to run out of grip, or maybe you choose to fall, or things like that. It's interesting. You also may want to fall to avoid getting hit by the Leviathan, because after everybody takes a turn, but then the Leviathan has a turn, and there's this row of cards that flips over, and then you have to execute. And it tells you ahead of time where it's going to be targeting. This turn, it's going to hit in a sphere, 6 spaces around it. Well, if you're there, it's going to hit you. Well, maybe you want to fall just to get away from getting hit like that kind of thing. So very, very clever. You get to plan that ahead. You get to coordinate. You can heal each other. You can help each other. You support each other. Some of the Leviathans are wild. There's a Leviathan where you're actually swimming up instead of where you're diving down instead of climbing up. There's ones that go wide. There's ones that go tall. Every Leviathan has a complete unique set of challenges. They have their own unique deck that you challenge yourself with that makes a lot of variability, which is cool as well. One thing I would also say is that as you're building your team, kind of doing a little bit of coordination in terms of building synergies between what characters and classes you take will help, because having some diversity, having the ability to support each other, and maybe kind of crafting your team about what real Leviathan you're taking on, because every Leviathan really does have a unique challenge. The more you play, the more you'll realize that there are some synergies in there that can make it easier, or you can just randomize it and, Jesus take the wheel, and sometimes it's really, really hard. So there you go. That is a very, very quick overview of what Leviathan Wilds is. I personally really, really like it. Now, not everybody I've played this with likes it.
Right.
As much as I do, and that's fair. I think some of the criticisms have just been being frustrated about what you can do in your turn, not feeling like you can coordinate as much as you want to with your other players, that kind of thing. I personally don't feel that way. I love the coordination. I love the idea of helping each other out, that you are paying attention. Who's going to take this hit? Who can take this hit? Who can toss me this? Where do I need to be? I'm going to climb up there because I have the most movement, so I'm going to go straight to the top, but then I'm going to fall down, and I'm going to take these 2 hits. Can you heal me? That kind of thing. I think it's really cool. I think the diversity in the Leviathans is really cool. The art looks good. It's a pretty game. The components are nice quality, that kind of thing. So, Leviathan Wilds cooperative Leviathan saving game with multi-use cards. I personally really, really like this one a lot. So there you go.
That sounds really cool. I was taking a peek at it while you were talking.
It's pretty,
fun.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I really like the look of it.
Woo! All right. There you go, folks. A few games we've been playing. Of course, we can't end the show without a little treat at the end. Mandi, let's serve up a Mandi-selected game pie.
Sure.
All right, Mandi, I opened the show notes and I saw that you had proactively selected a game pie. Well done, you. And I had a good chuckle at it. I hope I hit the mark here. What was your thinking behind our game pie?
I honestly was at a loss of things to talk about. I can't keep talking about 3D printing all day because I think I'll just drive everybody wild. So I was like, okay,
y'all have no idea how many messages I get from her behind the scenes about her 3D printing. So many.
Wait till y'all see the glow-in-the-dark pillow for my controller. That's next episode. So I was hanging out with some friends, and one of them was like, I just got a boat. Let's be clear here. My friends aren't rich, okay? They live in the country, and they got a boat. It's just a simple boat. But he's like, I would love to get some games that we could play on the boat. And I was like, this sounds like this could be a good game pie. What games could we play on a boat? So there you go.
Games on a boat. All right, Mandi. I went a little different direction than you. Well, I don't know. We'll see. So, Mandi,
sure.
As usual, please serve up your first slice of games you can play on a boat.
Now, bearing in mind, if it's a little windy there, you might have to take some precautions. But for the most part, I think you'll be all right. So the first slice of my games you can play on a boat pie is cartographers. And the reason why I picked cartographers, I know there's papers and cards involved in this one. However, if you have a boat that has a little bit of a table, it doesn't take up a ton of room, you know what I mean? And you have pencils, or I have one of those pencils where you can actually change the lead to different colors. So you don't actually need separate pencils, so I can use just one. Anyway, it's a way you can minimize the game and, filling out your sheets, fighting the baddies, coloring the squares, and you're using very few cards. Ideally, I would stay away from cards if you can, but I think this is the only one on my list that involves cards. So I think Cartographers has a small enough print that you could play this on a boat.
Excellent job. I went a different direction. I think I went more nautical thematically than like physically. We'll make it work.
I love it. This is great.
I don't want to switch it up now. I mean, now I don't know what to do.
No, do it. But this is like teaching, right? Interpretation, how we comprehend. Let's roll with it.
But your interpretation makes so much more sense. I don't know.
No,
okay, well, here we go. I'm committed now. First up for me, Fleet the Dice game. So it's a roll and write about fishing fleets, because fishing is boats, and this is games you can play on a boat. And apparently, in my mind, the games you can play on a boat are games about boats.
It's like a game within a game. That's another game.
It's been a long week, folks. It's been a long week. So Fleet the Dice game, a classic almost contextually. Roll and write, it was one of the earlier roll and writes to add a little bit of complexity. Has a lot of combos going back and forth. You get here, you get that, you go there, you get this, that kind of thing. Stands up. I think it stands up. They also do Three Sisters, and they do Motor City. I like them all. Fleet the Dice game is a nice thematic one for a boat.
I like
Andy,
it. This is great.
Next slice.
You took the extra. To
be fair, you can play it on a boat. Like, it's a roll and write with some dice. You have a sheet. You have everything Mandi just said about cartographers, even less, because you don't need colored pencils. So I stand
There
by
you go. So you're maybe ahead of the game on that one. All right. Well, my next slice of games you can play on a boat pie is Ganz Schön Clever. And the reason I picked this one is because you have a box and you can roll the dice in the box. It's a roll and write, of course. I like to laminate my sheets, so hey, could be waterproofed there. And all you need is the sheet, your marker, pen, and then the box with the dice, but you're rolling them in the box. So I think it works out rather well. So for me, it's a smaller, print of the game, and it makes it, if you laminate like I do, they'll be even waterproof for those splashy, waves when you're on your boats.
Makes sense again. Yeah, good choice. All right, well, next slice up for me, Captain Flip. It's a game about boats.
This is great.
Putting tiles on a boat, because what do you play on a boat but games about boats? Captain Flip is an excellent, very lightweight, push your luck, heavy luck-based game, but it's got something to it that just sings. Basically, you got a boat board and tile spaces. You draw a tile out of the bag. You look at the side. You can place that tile down, or you may choose to flip it, and then you must place that side down.
Yes.
And you get to pick where you get to put it. There's a end condition to the game. Most points wins, gold, whatever. I'm surprised at how much I like this game in general.
Me too.
Right? Yeah, it's really
so
solid.
good.
They just announced they're going to have a new expansion coming out soon. I'm very excited about that. Captain Flip, an excellent game. My pitch that you can play on the boat, ultimately, you just need the bag of tiles and you need your player board. So it's not a huge space hog for what it is. If the boat rolls, your tiles are going to go sliding. I don't know. Use tape. All right, ready? Next slice for you.
Travel Scrabble.
Excellent choice.
I had to throw Scrabble in there because, I love the Scrabble. And if I was on a boat with my mom, you definitely know we'd be playing some Scrabble. And her going, I'm going to kick your butt. Yeah, that's literally what she says. But the travel...
In just that tone of voice? Does your mom know that you mock her that way on a podcast?
Probably. Because she's like, I do watch it, so I try to give you a like. So probably.
Thank you, Mumsy.
I know, right? Travel Scrabble has locked in... the tiles aren't loose. So, and again, if you have original Scrabble, when you're putting your letters on the board, they don't lock in. For people who just have a regular board and you're not super bougie or fancy like me, who has 3 Scrabble boards, I know, obsessed. I like Scrabble. The tiles lock in, and the travel version, there's a travel version you can get where the tiles don't move around on the board, so they actually lock in their spaces. For those who are not familiar with Scrabble, it is a word game where you have tiles of letters and you're trying to make words to get points, right? So that's the gist of the game. And the travel one is great for a boat because the tiles are not going to go flying. They're locked in their little spot, and it's a small one, so it actually takes up very little room to play. So travel Scrabble, if you're like a good word game, gotta get one of those.
Yep. Good choice for on a boat. Makes a lot of sense. My next game for games you can play on a boat, because what do you play on a boat but games about boats, is Come Sail Away. So here's what we're gonna do, Mandi. I think next episode we're gonna do this game pie again, except we're gonna flip it. I will pick my games that are you play on a boat, and you'll pick games about a boat. Or nautical games or something. Because what do you play on a boat but games about a boat? Come Sail Away. Sashi and Sashi game. Amazing drafting game where you are drafting cards that dictate the people you get to put on your cruise ship, on your big boat. And there's a little bit of a puzzle about matching types of guests and certain kinds of seats and certain kind of cabins and things like that. It's one of my favorite Sashi and Sashi games. I love it. It's Come Sail Away. It's a game about a boat to play on a boat. Mandi, what's your last slice?
My last slice of games you can play on a boat pie is, and you can tell me if I'm pronouncing this right, Dropolter?
I think so. Dropolter. Yeah, they're playing with.
I don't own this game. I had tried to get it, but it was like sold out for like the longest time, or it was just really hard to get. But it's one I chose this game because the pieces, when you're playing, you hold them in your hand.
Honestly, Mandi, this is a genius selection for a dexterity game that you can play on a boat. This is genius. Honestly, brilliant.
I thought this was like my favorite choice because it's a dexterity game, which Lord knows I didn't think that was going to be on my list. But the pieces are, for the most part, you're holding them in your hand right now. If the wind blows while they're on the table, I can't guarantee they'll be there. But for the most part, the pieces are, in your hand, and obviously you're.
But
trying
it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing choice.
So I think that's a really strong one. And it's an away game, and it's a small box game. So again, it's not going to take up a ton of room. So Dropolter, I think this would be a nice boat game.
It is a genius selection for your games you can play on a boat. Hi, Mandi.
We'll do another episode called like Deja Vu, and then we'll
My last slice of games you can play on a boat games, because what do you play on a boat but games about boats, is The Crew Mission Deep Sea.
I agree with this one, though. I think this is a good one.
A submarine than a boat? I don't know. But yeah. Thank you, Mandi. The Crew is a well-known cooperative trick-taking game. It really kind of bent the genre in a fun way, in a popular way. And I love The Crew. Then comes Mission Deep Sea, which is an evolution of that same system where you're doing the cooperative thing, where basically you're trying to play tricks to hit specific targets. And in the original The Crew, they're kind of preset targets. In Mission Deep Sea, they give you cards that you can mix and match to create a variety of targets that adds more variability and in some cases can make the game much tougher. Right. Mandi, you and I play a lot of trick-taking games. I like it when trick-taking games are a little harder because I play them so much. I like that extra challenge. Mission Deep Sea, The Crew, excellent cooperative trick-taking game. It's got sea in the name, so you must want to play it on a boat.
Yes, exactly.
I really feel like I failed you, Mandi, on this one.
No, it's good. It's good. I think you'll have some supporters on this one.
I feel like I failed our friends out there. I'm sorry, friends. I'm sorry. I will endeavor to do better.
Wait, wasn't that a superhero line? You failed this city. Is it Arrow? Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
Arrow?
Yes. The one with
Mega
Stephen
Mind?
Amell. No, and I forgot his name in the show, but you failed this city or something like that was like his line. So you failed this game pie. Of course not. I'm just joking.
I failed the game pie, folks.
I'm kidding.
Well, all right. I'm going to say don't tell me what games you want to play on a boat, because I need to come up with games I can play on a boat. I actually have a good idea for my first one.
Okay.
So we'll figure it out. But
all right.
Yeah, feel free to make fun of my games you can play on a boat. Our boat games.
This is where you enter a Wayne's World reference.
Yes, very well done. You can email us your comments at saltandsassgames@gmail.com, Or you can chime in on our thread on our Board Game Geek Guild. That's Guild 4131 on BoardGameGeek.com. Love hearing from you on there and always appreciate folks who chime in there. Or you can chat us up on social media, Mandi.
Yes, you could be watching us right now on the YouTube or the Twitch, and you can find us there at Salt and Sass Games. That's Salt and Sass Games. We are also on Blue Sky. We got a little professional there, so we drop the games, and it's just Salt and Sass. So you can find us there at Salt and Sass. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at 613 Mandi. That's Mandi with an I. How about you, Suzanne?
And you find me on Blue Sky. I am at 425 Suzanne. As always, it is a pleasure and privilege to be podcasting with you. Thank you so much for making us a part of your extended gaming family. Remember, if we're part of your extended gaming family, you can't make fun of family members too much for being weird about boats, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Right?
That's fair. Good point.
Lots going on in the world, folks. Take care of each other. We appreciate you so much. And we will be back in a couple of weeks with a new episode. But until then, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay hydrated. Drink that water.
Yes.
Drink some water on a boat. And play a lot of games. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out on coffee.com/saltandsassgames. Thank you for your support. We are also part of the Goonhammer Media Network. Check out more of their content on media.goonhammer.com. Salt and Sass is produced with love by Mandi and Suzanne, and we'll be back next episode with more salt, more sass, and more games.